Yena, how do you manage your heart right now, nowadays, after leaving the church behind, after going through those tough times? How do you feel, and how do you manage your relationship with people? You still live close enough to the previous church, well, in the same city, same town, and how do you manage it?
I'm actually doing really well. I think it helped that I left, like I said, when I left. Before I got to a place where I was so wounded that I couldn't manage, being in the same area or running into members. And I have not done anything with the former church, per Presbyterian policy and whatnot. So there were some funerals, but of course I did not attend. I am close with some of the members still, at personal level, so I have met with them, and it has not been bad at all. I think have I moved on, or did I just let it go and move on? I think it's still a process. It's what I experienced. It is something that I will revisit from time to time to see how, what can I learn from that experience about myself, about others. And there are no regrets for me, which is a good feeling. So if I look back and say, oh, I should have done this, or I should have said this, I said everything I wanted to say in a way that I wanted to say it when I left. And so it was a good closure. I think it's really important to have good closures in these kinds of things. So I'm good. I feel really healthy. It helps that I have a network of support through my friends at Korean American Clergy Women's Group, and also I'm part of a clergy group that I've been part of for the past 15 years. We meet bi-weekly. We call ourselves MDivas, and the MDiva women sisters have been incredible in supporting me through not only just this phase, but through ministry. I always say I never want to do ministry without them, life without them, So having, and also my family, my blood family, they're all close by. So just being close to them and having time with them, and a lot more free time to spend with them. Being able to watch my nephews on moment's notice because my sister had some emergency happen, things like that. That's all been healing, source of healing for me. And I'm also still very close to the senior pastor and staff of former church, so that's very helpful.
So it's not holding on to grudge and then, confined in the wounded feeling, but it's more about focusing on the life ahead of you and then the positive things happening.
Sure. Yeah, there are no grudges. No grudges. And even the people who made things difficult for me towards the end, and even more overtly difficult, I know that their heart was in a different place than they think. They meant well. It just didn't come out the way they probably wanted to. And I really understand where they're coming from. What I disagree with is, we can learn to disagree on things and agree on name of a podcast. But it's like, I need to be able to express my opinion, my voice, without having that sense of control over me. And I've lived earlier part of my life, really, those are my baggages, and there were social constructs and social norms and expectations that I used to really hold on to and be bondage to, I guess is the word, that I don't want to go back there. I've been liberated from those things, and I need my beliefs, my faith, what I believe about God's liberating power, I had to work on it really hard to be where I am. So when there are people who are trying to push that back on me, then I have to stand my ground and say, I will not, because I worked really hard to get away from those kinds of things and those expectations and, you know, what appears to be right. And it's not about right or wrong. So I am really okay. Just I'm thinking about those people right now, and I have pictures of their faces in my head as I'm talking about this right now, and I really am okay with them. And it's really by the grace of God.
Yes.
Because I have been forgiven. I have been received by God's grace, and grace is something that, you know, I didn't earn. It's just given to me. So I feel that I have to practice that upon others as well. So yes, you hurt me. What you said was wounding and hurtful, and
even you have to let go of your job, profession.
Yeah, but that's okay, because that's just a job. I'm not gonna let go of who I am.
You're still a pastor.
I am who I am. Yeah, I'm a pastor at heart. And that's my calling. And even if I don't serve a church, I have a pastor's heart. And I'm a person of integrity, because I'm a person who believes in things that, you know, what I want to be able to walk the talk, basically, right? I don't want to just talk the talk and not walk the walk. I know that sounds really, you know, it's really oversaid, but that's what means being a person of integrity means to me. This is who I am, and we believe in the messages that we are trying to share in this podcast, and therefore we're not gonna back down. And you know, I feel empowered. I feel really empowered. I feel strong that I was able to walk away from stability, you know, because I have 2 kids in college. It's not easy to walk away from a position that I loved, the congregation I loved, and, you know, with stability that it provided me financially. But I let that all go, because it's important for me to be wholly me. Holistic self. I want to bring my whole self to the congregation. There are varying degrees of theology and political stance and whatnot. So it is a good congregation, and I would even recommend, you know, my friends like, oh, you left the church, would you still recommend the church? I was like, oh yeah, it's a great congregation. But I needed to make a stand for myself, and I did, and I feel good, and there are no regrets, and I look forward to what God has in store for them, as well as what God has in store for me.
Thank you, Yena. That it's a powerful witness, and I think a lot out there will appreciate the story. There are many out there in a similar situations nowadays in our church, both in conflict and wounded in many different situations, but it's happening. And
my pleasure, and thank you for this opportunity, because there are, you know, like you said, there are many who are experiencing similar kinds of difficulties, or even if it's different. But as a POC, person of color and female pastor in Peace USA, there are a lot of challenges still, even though we feel like, oh, we've come such a long way, but we still have long ways to go. And if we can support one another through sharing of our stories, I'll gladly share that story.
And I know, and the many more out there know, that you are a damn good pastor. So I believe that there will be another and multiple callings out there for you soon. And then we look forward to seeing you in a ministry context.
I'm busy as is, so
yes, you are.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to whatever God has in store my ways.
Thank you, Yena. Have a wonderful life ahead, and we don't have any doubt about that.
Blessings.
Okay. Bye-bye.